Hello and welcome to the first episode of Queerantine. I'm your host, Jenna, and this is a podcast where we talk about all things queer, all things happening in quarantine, and then we play a couple of cute little games at the end of the podcast. So with that, I would like to introduce my first guest, a very, very close friend of mine, part of my drag family, both my mother and my sister, and also kind of my daughter. This is Zack Lifetime.
Hey, I'm here. Can I smoke in here?
Yes, and.
Yes, and you can join me.
Eventually, maybe, hopefully.
What am I here for? What are we doing? Tell me things.
This is the Queerantine podcast, which I'm very impressed with myself that I thought of that name all by myself because, as we know, I am not the most creative when it comes to words. So why I decided to start a podcast? We'll see. I don't know. I think I'm just hoping that all of my guests are going to be really interesting people and that they'll just do most of the work for me, I think.
Podcast, more like pod blast. Am I right?
Thank you for proving my point.
I think 5 guests just tuned out. Guests? Is that what? I don't know. This isn't like a live. Well, it is live, but it's not live.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's live for us, but it won't be live for everybody listening.
It's live for us, but it's dead for everyone else.
I think it's called listeners instead of guests.
Ooh, that makes more sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, we did just lose 5 listeners, which puts us at -5. I figured because the podcast is called Queerantine, we'll talk about like, I don't know, you can tell a cute little story about a queer experience that you've had, which is just like basically your whole life. Whether you were out or not.
Whether you were out or not, you were a faggot the whole time.
And then I'll share a story, and then we'll take a little breaky poo, and we'll go into, we'll talk about, we'll talk about our favorite ways that we're passing our time during quarantine. And in our case, queerantine, because there's no way to quarantine if you're a queer without it being a queerantine.
Maybe say the name of your podcast one more time for the people in the back. For the people at the check cashing place down the street.
Queerantine. And then when we're done talking about our favorite queerantine activities, whatever, we'll play some games.
Ooh, games?
Obviously.
It's a spelling joke for those of out there who didn't get that. I spelled it with a G-A-Y, you know. Games is actually spelled G-A-M-E-S, but I spelled it G-A-Y-M-E-S, so, you know. Spelling. Why did you have me on your podcast?
Well, I guess I'll start with my queer story first, and then I'll explain why I have you on here.
I'm all over the place. It's your podcast. You start things.
Well, I was just going off of that because why I have you on here, it like ties into the first queer story I wanted to have.
Yeah, tell me.
It's my coming out story.
Mm.
Cue rainbow sparkle sound effect. I mean, you were there, but like for everybody else that wasn't. And you were not even really there because it was definitely a text message.
Yeah.
So for, I guess, all of the listeners out there, all -5 of you, I was struggling for a very long time before I even met this bitch. My mother, my sister, my brother, and my daughter. And then, I don't know, one day I finally got up the courage to go in public in drag, which was also because of Zack. I would not have gotten into drag the first time ever if it wasn't for you, and I wouldn't have ever come out if it wasn't for you, because you were just that person for me, I guess.
I'm that bitch.
You were a third of the coming out process.
I'm that bitch. I'm that bitch. Do.
Yes, you are. I think we decided recently that you are exactly 1/3 owner of my coming out experience.
I own 33.3% of this coming out.
Math.
Not even once.
No. But yeah, so I went out in public in drag for the first time and promptly chickened out of performing. And then I think we both kind of figured, hey, maybe if I have some alcohol in me, I'll get up the courage to perform. And then 4 drinks in 10 minutes later, I was too drunk to do anything. I was lucky I was still standing in my heels. Like, lucky. So we left the bar that we were at because I couldn't embarrass myself more than I already had in front of a specific person. So we went over to Woody's, and even though I still did not perform or do anything in drag except exist, that was the first night that I talked to Katinka Couture in person.
We stan a queen.
Love her. And then I got drunker and drunker. And then we stumbled over to the little BMO on the corner at Church and whatever that street is. I want to say Alexander, but I think it's wrong. And we did a little mini photo shoot.
We did. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Oh, I've got the pictures. Maybe that'll be like some of the images I share along with saying, here's the first episode. I'll share some of the photos from that beautiful.
I'm sure we looked stunning. Well, I'm sure you looked stunning and drunk, but stunning.
I hated that wig that I styled that night.
Which wig were you wearing?
I was wearing the lavender one.
Oh, yeah.
That I styled myself, but I just didn't do the teasing very well. It just didn't turn out the way I wanted. And then in the little vestibule area of the BMO, I was like, I'm gonna tell him. I'm gonna come out. I'm gonna come out right now. And then I didn't. And then you were like, okay, I gotta get home. I was like, yeah, me too. The subway's gonna end soon. And then we took a sweet ass time getting over to the subway. Missed the last train, and I called an Uber. You waited for the streetcar.
I called the streetcar.
You called that streetcar named Desire, and you got on it, and you just screamed Stella out the window. Which is weird. That's not even my name.
Yeah.
I proceeded to panic more and more and be like, nope, I can't do it right now. And then you got on the streetcar and I got in the Uber and I was like, nope, this is my time. And I texted it to
you. Yeah, you did.
I did. You did.
Well, I'm glad I could be there for that for you and be that person and help you blossom into the little queerdo you are.
I'm stealing that term. What? That's mine now. Queerdo. That's mine now.
Bitch, that's not a new term.
If it's new to me, it's been around for years.
Yeah.
I'm a little behind the times.
It's fine, sweetie. At least you're pretty.
Thank you.
Now me? Do I talk now?
Yeah. Tell me a queer story about yourself.
Story. Ooh. Should I talk about a drag story or a weird sex story or coming out story? What do you want? What do you want, bitch?
Honestly, I would love to hear all 3 of those. Whichever one you think, I don't know.
Well, I guess I could tell ooh, no. I'll tell the first time that I did drag too, I guess.
Okay.
So I probably told you this before, but anyway, the very first, well, I guess the very first.
Our listeners have not heard the story.
All -5 of them.
Mm-hmm.
10 by now. Yeah. Well, I guess the very first time I did drag wasn't. I went to a club on Halloween before I was even out, so that's I don't even count that. The first time I did drag, I was in my 3rd year of university, and there's like this student-run play festival at York where I was going, and so I had submitted, I think, 3 different shows to the festival, including like a full play that I'd written and like a couple other like concepts. And then I was sitting in class and just like my brain was elsewhere because I wasn't interested in whatever the teacher was talking about, I guess. And the name Merlola just popped into my head. And so I wrote it down on like the side of my paper. And then with like maybe 2 days or a day left before the like deadline for like submitting to the festival, I wrote a concept for this play called Merlola that was like talking about like the commodification of queer culture and looking at gender identity and all this like fun stuff through like the lens of a drag queen. And it was like so last minute, and I didn't expect it to get in. And then a week later, I find out that it got in, and none of the other shows I submitted got in. And so like the last thing, and then I realized, fuck, I don't know anything about drag. So I proceeded to watch all of Drag Race as like research, and then fell in love with the show, and wrote a play about Merlola, who was a drag queen who had wine glasses instead of hands, and was born at a birthing factory, and then was carried to the our world by some peacocks.
Okay.
A flock of drag cocks.
Okay.
And then she lived in a dumpster, and then at one point she moved to a trash compactor, which kept her thin. And it was like mostly about how like her becoming like this star, and like slowly like the people around her making her like put on false hands and get like all glamored up and shave and look like this like idealized form of what like drag is, until they fired her and just had like women like playing her, and like not even in drag. So yeah, that was the very first time, and I stripped on stage down to pretty much nothing because I was stripping off my persona as I went. I was wearing this thirsty ass Marilyn Monroe knockoff wig from fucking Party City that I had
the wig
a beret on top of because it was so fucking thirsty, and I didn't know what I was doing. I tried washing it with just like regular shampoo and water, and was like, "It's fine, everything's fine."
Oh.
But yeah, it was a great time. I had a lot of fun. People enjoyed it. But yeah, that was the first time I did drag. Was that enough of the story?
That was a lovely story. See, I knew that you had done that show, but I didn't know that was your first time in drag.
Yeah, Eve painted me.
That I knew too. I knew that Eve painted you, and I knew about the show, and of course I went to the lovely second act of it because it was incredible, and it needs to get back on the stage. Actually, since it's a one-woman show and we're all in quarantine, I think you should just live broadcast it. But
me and Curtis are starting work on the second draft, so
okay, so maybe we'll see how long we're all locked up for.
Yeah. Well, Merlola should probably be locked up for a long time. She's a bit of a bitch. She's a character that is around. Yeah, I don't know. That's a story. Figured keep it on drag.
Yeah. I guess I didn't mention either that you're actually the one that named my drag character.
I did.
Yeah, because I got nothing. Because again, I'm not creative with the words, and yet here I am starting a podcast, an audio-only podcast. I don't know. So, what's your favorite thing to do to pass the time in your poor little isolation quarantine apartment bedroom thing?
I don't fucking know. I've been watching. I've rewatched, I think, all of Drag Race. I am up to the finale of season 11 right now.
Mm-hmm.
I love Drag Race, but oh my god, I'm so bored of TV. What else have I been doing? Oh, I'm growing tomato plants and
What?
pepper plants from seed. So I got those. Drinking, that's always fun. What else? I don't know. Oh, I just ordered some books because I want to get myself back into reading because I don't know. Reading's fun and more mentally stimulating than TV.
Yeah.
But I've had a hard time like reading for fun since university because like just with all the reading that you have to do, I'm like still learning how to read for fun again.
Yeah, it took me a long time after my undergrad to get back to reading for fun again too. And then after my coursework for my master's, it also took me a very long time to get back into reading for fun again, which I am doing pretty well at right now. I've read 11 books so far this year.
Ooh.
Yeah, I just increased my Goodreads goal from 15 to 30 because I'm like, you know what? I'm locked up.
I don't know what that means.
Goodreads.
Goal.
Like, so you can set like a reading challenge for yourself on the Goodreads app.
Ooh, I don't know what that app is. What it just like tracks your...
It tracks your books. So like you can go in there and be like, oh, I'm reading this right now, and then when you finish reading it, you mark it as read. And yeah, it tracks what books you've read and want to read. So if you come across a title and you're like, oh, that looks really, really good, this is not sponsored by Goodreads. You can like
want to reach out to Jenna.
Send me money because we're not making any right now. Yeah, anyway, so you can, if you like come across a book that you think looks interesting, you can mark it as want to read, and then if you're like lost on things that you want to read, then you go back to that and you're like, oh, cute. But I don't know how many books on my want to read list, and I have not gone back to a single one. I just keep finding new ones.
Audio.
Yeah. So I guess I don't know. That's
what are you doing in your free time all the time, other than hanging out in your hammock and
Yeah, I had to take the hammock down for a few days. They're doing some refinishing work on our balconies, so I had to take it down because it was getting real dusty and real gross. So it's sitting in a plastic garbage bag on a shelf in the closet.
Same.
You have not been in the closet for a long time.
It's only been 6 years, actually.
Really?
Yeah. 6 years next month.
Oh. Actually, you've never told me your coming out story, so now I want to hear it.
Bitch, I already told the story. You only get one story. You have to have me back for another podcast. And that is how you get rebooked. Take notes.
Okay, we'll wait for another episode. Like, I've only got like 5 people on my roster that like I know for sure are actually going to do this. No, 4 people, and you're one of them. So you might come back unless quarantine ends before those 4 people are all on this episode, and then the podcast ends.
Well, we'll see how long it pod lasts.
And on that note, we'll be back later with Tea for 2. I'm pretty sure is what we decided to call this.
Yeah, let's do it.
Welcome back to Queerantine.
Hi.
This segment is called Tea for 2, where we each ask each other a question about anything. Nothing is off limits here. Thank you for consenting to be part of this. I did tell you this in advance, so like we have received informed consent from the guest on the podcast because sociology.
Oh, what are we talking about? The intimate details of my sex life? What sex life? What's the question?
We could. So I, again, am not creative with words, so I like literally Googled some good questions. The one that I came up with, there's like a list of 50 questions, and it's totally 100% geared towards straight women.
What are those?
I don't know anymore. So like a bunch of them are like, who's your biggest crush you've ever had on someone of the opposite sex? And it's like, well, okay, so.
I liked a girl named Josephine in the 3rd grade.
Ooh. Did you like Josephine or did you want to be like Josephine?
I like Josephine. Come on, Josephine, let's get it. Josephine, if you're out there listening, if you're one of the negative 15 people, we're at 15 now. I'm real gay now. Want to be friends? Josephine's not listening.
Yes, I've found some. I'm just like whittling it down to the one that I'd like.
You should be prepared. This is your podcast. What you doing?
Yeah, I know. But I was more focused on getting the microphone to work than actually. I kind of thought that like something would just like spark in me and I'd be like all of a sudden be able to come up with something on the fly, but I should know better than that.
Yeah, I'm like, when has that ever happened?
I mean, not in the last 30 years of my life, but I don't know.
Okay, do you want me to start then?
Yeah, you can start.
God, I feel like because the question I was going to ask is like drag related again, but I'm like, well, why not? I want to know what the, like, for you, what the hardest part of being an AFAB queen is. And for anybody out there who doesn't know what AFAB is, yes, Jenna is a fab queen, but she's also, they are also an AFAB queen, which means assigned female at birth. Welcome to my podcast. I'm here every Tuesday.
And now we've decided that this will upload on Tuesdays.
You're welcome.
What was it again? The hardest part of being an AFAB?
Yeah, because I know like it's a different struggle being a queen than a cis male queen or a trans female queen.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. So before I even started drag, I think it was that I didn't think that I was allowed to. For all the listeners out there, I also fully identified as a cis hetero woman at the time. No longer. But so I think that was a big part of it for me was like, I just fully didn't think that I was, as an AFAB person, allowed to do queen drag. I thought that if I wanted to do drag, it had to be king, which I didn't really identify with. I'm getting there now. I've got my cute little bobby pin character too, so I'm kind of yes. Zack has also named my king character because I'm good with being creative. But I think beyond that, I think it's getting out to the bars and not necessarily feeling welcomed as an AFAB queen, like feeling like you're not meant to be there. I've had pretty good experiences with that overall, and I think that's because I paint so well that like at a first glance it's hard to tell that I'm even an AFAB queen. And like I corset and I do the whole thing, so like any guy could get out there and corset and pad and whatever.
Them boobs are a bit of a giveaway.
I know.
Which isn't a bad thing at all.
No, and I have thought about wearing either like high-necked gowns or bodysuits, or like just wearing like a big thick-ass necklace to make it look like it might be like a breastplate. But I haven't done it yet. But I don't know. Just
like now. Come on, sis. But do you?
Yeah, just I think the thought of like getting out there and not being welcomed as a true drag queen is a hard thing to get over.
Yeah, there's still a lot of misconceptions out there that you have to be a certain thing to be a drag queen, and
only for gay men.
Yeah. Do you have how do you feel about the term bio queen? Is that like something that you like or don't mind, or just kind of like another term?
Um, for me, it's just kind of like another term.
Okay.
I'm not a huge fan of it, just because I feel like if we're all getting out there doing the same art form, then why are you relabeling me as something else? Like, I'm getting out there, I'm doing the same thing, I'm lip syncing, I'm painting, I'm corseting, I've got the costumes. I don't have good costumes yet, but that's because I'm broke. But like I'm sitting down and I'm getting myself in drag for like 2-3 hours at a time. Like I'm putting the same amount of work in. I might not have to tuck. I might not have to tuck. But not all cis male like AMAB queens tuck either. So I don't feel like that should be a deterrent for people calling me just a drag queen. I don't hate the term hyper queen because like, I'm not hyper. Like I don't have a lot of energy, but I think it's kind of cute to be like you're almost like more of a queen because you have to get past all of those gender biases and everything. Yeah. Also, there's a drag competition in Toronto that still, if you were assigned female at birth, you are not allowed to enter that drag competition at all.
Which one is that?
I think it's the Halloween one at Woody's. I'm pretty sure it's the Halloween one at Woody's. So
That surprises me that Woody's. I'd expect it more to be like something at Cruise or something that would be more about that. But like,
yeah, but you can enter Cruise and Tango's drag race, and you can enter the Miss Cruise pageant, and you can be AFAB, and that's not an issue. But for this one I think there's other things at Woody's that you can enter if you're AFAB, but that one specifically, you have to have been born and assigned male at birth, which I think is absolutely ridiculous because there's so many.
What about AFAB? Like anybody who is assigned male at birth, even if they like identify as a gender other than male, do they let them? Okay.
Yeah, you can be a trans woman, you can be a non-binary, you can be anything, but you had to have been assigned male at birth.
That's icky.
Yeah. So I think like things like that are like the misconceptions and the prejudices that a lot of cis gay men have against cis women and like non-binary, like any AFAB queen.
RuPaul. Sorry, I've got.
Woo!
Hope it's not coronavirus.
Yeah, I think that's the hardest thing is like every time I'm gonna get out to the bar and do a performance, I'm like, okay, is this the night that someone's gonna clock me as an AFAB and just like say some really horrible shit to me on the side of the stage?
Well, hopefully that never happens, but strong, independent, performing bitch, and you gonna turn it either way. Do you have any advice for any like little do you have any advice for any little AFAB performers out there who are just starting off? I mean, I guess like you're still starting off, but like even more starting off than you.
Just do it. Like drag is meant to fuck with gender, so like don't tell anyone that because you're AFAB that you can't do it. Like if you want to be a drag queen, you can be a drag queen. If you want to be a gender performer, go out and do it. And if you want to be a king, well, all the more power to you because that shit is hard.
Make up your own goddamn type of drag, you fucking do that too.
Exactly. You want to do like anything you want to do. It's performance art at the base of it that wants to fuck with gender. So if you're sitting there being like, I want to do this because I fucking love this art form, but like it's not for me, fuck that. Just get out there and do it.
Cool.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess that's my biggest piece of advice.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go a little bit less on the queer side of things and a little more into the quarantine side of things.
Yeah, we haven't talked about. Well, we have talked about that.
We talked about that, but and I mean, this can You can answer this based on something that you've done during quarantine or any other time that you've been alone. But I want to know what the weirdest thing you've ever done while you're by yourself has been.
The weirdest thing I've ever done while I'm by myself. That's so open. Oh my god. Well, I do dance around my room a lot, lip syncing to random songs in the mirror. That's not that weird. I mean, a lot of people do that.
A lot of people do that, and also you're a drag queen, so I feel like that's even less weird in that circumstance.
Yeah. God, what have I done? That's weird. I don't know. I'm just like really normal. I'm just like really like down to earth and like a basic like normal human person.
I can ask you another question.
I'm thinking. Oh my god. Oh my god, don't rush me. God, I should be weirder than this. Why am I so normal? Jesus. I don't know. Oh, I like watching people out my window. I'll stand there for like an hour and just like watch people walk past and just like fully oh my god. And there's people who live across the street too who like have like no curtains on the window, and I'll just like spy on my neighbors being like, so what you doing today, cute guy with the shirt off that I've seen on Grindr a few times? How you doing? Is that weird? Is that creepy? I'm so lonely. Nobody's around. I can't see people in real life, so I just watch them.
I mean, I feel like in the before times that maybe would have been weird and creepy, but I think now it's pretty normal. Like that's all we can do. That's the only human interaction we can really have is just like staring at people out of our windows. My view of people is blocked by my balcony railings, so and then just across the little driveway thing there's a townhouse complex being built, so there's not really any people anyway. But I think that for people that can see people outside their windows, I feel like that's becoming more of a normal thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Also, what another weird thing, I've gotten back into my wig buying addiction. I've ordered more wigs.
No.
I haven't ordered a wig in 2 weeks now, but
okay.
I have some in my cart that I'm like trying to like convince myself not to buy because I don't need any more goddamn wigs.
You really don't. How many are you up to now?
Next question. I don't know. Over 30.
Okay. Is that including the ones in your cart?
No. I think on the wall there's 36.
Okay. Plus the one that you were wearing earlier. That's not currently on the wall.
Plus a couple other ones that are, here and there.
Oh, okay. So we're probably looking at over 40.
Long, early green wig so I can live my swamp witch fantasy.
Ooh, I love that for you. Can I paint you when this is all over? I want to do that look for you.
Yeah. It's my other drag character, Trollga.
I love that. Zach's the best at coming up with drag names.
Yeah.
And so modest.
So
too.
humble. Oh my god. Wow.
Oh my god.
Like I'm a drag queen or something. No, so humble. We all are, don't you know? Why don't you come on up and just see me sometime. Just the regular. I'm so lonely. Quarantine is awful.
Quarantine is awful. But I mean, also, I kind of don't want it to end in a weird way. Like, it's kind of nice to being able to go to bed whenever you want, get up whenever you want, do whatever you want during the day. Because, I mean, aside from buying food and washing laundry, there's not really, like, a whole lot of responsibilities.
No, I like that aspect of it. But, I'd like if I didn't have to go back to work and I could keep money from the government for existing.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's not worth it. I miss people too much. I feel like we're in like this weird purgatory limbo space. And I'm like, I'm not that bendy. I can't do limbo. I can't fit under that fucking limbo stick.
Same. I feel like I want to see people again, and I just saw that Ontario is going to be increasing the amount of people that can all gather at one time to 10, which, one, I think is too soon, and two, I mean, even if you can gather in groups of 10, you're not really supposed to, like, be that close to them still, so I don't really see the point, because, like, if I can't hug you, it's just going to make it harder.
I don't know. Like, I agree that it's too soon, 100%. But, I don't know. If I could see you from a distance and, like, still talk to you even without hugging you, I'm fine with that. I'd like to just, like, see you.
I feel like, I don't know, maybe.
Not, like, anytime soon, but, like, if it were, like, hypothetically, like, it would still be, like, dope to, like, just be around people even if you can't be that close.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's different for me because I have, like, really severe health-related anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
So, and, like, hypochondria, falls really hard into that for me. So, like, I'll wake up with a headache, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I've got corona. But actually, I just slept funny and my neck hurts.
I didn't drink enough water.
That too. Hydrate, people. Don't be
I've been so bad at hydrating. I'm like, every day I go out and I'm like, pour a glass of water in the morning because I'm so thirsty, and then I drink it, and I'm like, I'm gonna drink 8 glasses of water today. I'm gonna drink so much water. I'm gonna do this every day and be so healthy. And then, by nighttime, I wake up in the middle of the night, go to the bathroom, and it's like, oh great, my piss looks like fucking Mountain Dew.
But that feeling when you pee clear.
You cheer when you pee clear. Come on, Aquaria.
That was like my favorite thing. And then everybody else just looked at her like she was fucking crazy. And I was like, what do you mean? Have you never peed clear before?
And fucking Crack was just like, I fucking pissed like Red Bull.
Yeah. That was good.
Cheer when you pee clear.
I don't know. I don't feel like I'm gonna feel comfortable and confident being around people again until there's like a proven vaccine that, like, I know for a damn fact I'm not gonna get this shit. Possibly again. There's a very good chance that I actually had it back in January.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
My hair has gotten so long in quarantine, like, even, like, my fucking side hairs, I can, like, pull into, like, a mustache on the side. This would be funnier if this was a visual podcast. It's not.
I'm enjoying it, though.
Thanks. What's next? What are we doing next?
Never have I ever. I'm just fully bringing this back to, like, junior high sleepovers at this point.
This game is not really as fun unless it's a drinking game.
Would you like to pour a little glass of wine for yourself?
I don't have any. And you don't drink.
I don't drink. Well, you can take a little quick sip of your tea, and I'll take a little quick sip of my water. Okay. In actuality, you will drink your tea because I feel like you've done far more things in your life than I have. And I will likely also have not done the thing that you have not done.
Maybe. I don't know. Cool. Let's do it.
If you have a good one, you can start.
I don't got nothing. I'm like trying to think of things that I haven't done, and I'm like, I've done everything.
Yeah, you have. I'm trying to think. I mean, like, I could be a horrible person and just be like, never have I ever hung more than 30 wigs on a wall. But, like, I'm not going to do that to you.
But that's boring too. It's
also very boring.
Can you just like,
is there
like, can you like look up online like a bunch of never have I ever questions and we'll both just like answer?
Yeah.
'Cause I
Let's
feel
do
like
that.
that'd be better.
That's a much better thing. Okay, so risky, never have I ever questions. But like I feel like if I'm typing risky, never have I ever questions, I feel like it's gonna be for like vanilla straight people.
Then try gay, never have I ever. Or we'll just like make it gay.
Yeah. Okay. Never have I ever received a lap dance.
Yep, I have.
Okay, tell me the story about that because I need to know now.
I'm sure I've received multiple lap dances from like non-professional lap dances, but I did actually get a professional lap dance once on my friend's 18th birthday at a strip club. She seemed like a lovely lady.
And it did nothing for you.
Nope, but I smiled and pretended.
Oh. Oh yeah, cause you weren't out yet.
No, I was like 18 years old, and my friend's older brother took us both to this like strip club for his 18th birthday. Well, it was like we'd already gone to another bar, and then we went there because we were drunk, and they were like, let's take these like young 18-year-olds to a strip club, and then they paid for lap dances for us, and I was like, okay, thanks.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't think that okay, so I've for sure never had a professional one. Because I've always had like weird mixed feelings about strip clubs in general.
I feel like going there, because I've gone to strip clubs since I've been out, like both like male strip clubs and female strip clubs, and they're fun. I feel like when I've been to female strip clubs though, sometimes I'm just like, you're beautiful, you look great, but be cold. It's like winter time. Do you need a sweater? Like, you're beautiful. Look at those tits. Wow, your pussy's great. Love you. But you doing all right? Just want to make sure.
Yeah, I think my thing with them is like I've always kind of been like, when I was younger, I had a really like negative perception of strip clubs, like thinking that all of the women were just like these horribly repressed people that were like forced into this, and like that is true of probably like a vast majority of them. But also there's probably just people that genuinely love doing it. So like,
or they can make a lot of money doing it while they're putting themselves through school.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know. I think I have like this weird mixed feelings about them because one, I would love, that would be such a great environment for me to view in. I would be very happy. But also, I don't know, like the gross objectification and sexualization of women's bodies and like AFAB bodies is like gross to me. And I feel like that is just, you know, like there's a bunch of cis het men that go in there and are disgusting human people to these performers. But also, I fully support the right for women and AFAB people to do whatever the fuck they want with their own bodies. So if that's what they want to do, then like go for it.
Talented ass strippers out there who like fucking walk around naked and handstands and shit. And,
exactly.
Like, it's like, I'm there for the show. I'm like, here, take all my money. You gorgeous. No, yeah. I don't want anything from you. You just like, you working it. Like, do you?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not like I've been to a ton of strip clubs, and I haven't gone anytime recently. I think the last time I went was in my like second or third year of university to a like male strip club. That was a whole different experience.
Yeah, I have not been to a male strip club either, actually. I was offered to be taken to one when I was younger, and I don't know what excuse I came up with to not go, but I really did not want to go, and it is all making sense now. But yeah, I had no interest. I felt uncomfortable going to a female strip club because like, oh my god, what if I like it? And then I also felt uncomfortable going to a male strip club because like, I don't want that whipped in my face. Thank you.
Fair.
Yeah. So I've never been to one, but I don't know, maybe after quarantine we'll shake that up.
We'll take you out to a strip club. We'll go stripping. We'll go to the strip clubs on the strip. And then we'll go club him.
Yeah. Well, I guess that was never have I ever.
A whole question. Wow.
Oh. Well, yeah, because if we keep going, this podcast is just going to be like 3 hours long. Yeah.
I love you. Love your hair. Hope you win.
If I make it out of quarantine alive, I've won.
Well, thanks for having me. This was cute. This was fun.
Yeah. Thanks for coming, not coming, because we are very much not in the same room because social distance.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this was fun though. I've always wanted to start a podcast, and now I have.
Wow.
On to the next thing next week. 1 episode and done. Just kidding. Next week, I'm going to have one of the other people that have agreed to do this, TBD who it's going to be. And on that note, thanks for listening if you did.
Bye.
Bye.